Μόλις φτάσαμε στο Δουβλίνο μετά από 6 ώρες ταξίδι, δυστυχώς οι συνεχείς μετακινήσεις από χώρα σε χώρα έχουν αρχίσει να έχουν επιπτώσεις πάνω στην ομάδα, όμως αντέχουμε ακόμα. Η Ιρλανδία είναι μια ιδιαίτερη χώρα, γιατί αν και χώρα του Βορρά τα χαρακτηριστικά της μοιάζουν περισσότερο με μια χώρα της Μεσογείου, ανυπομονούμε να γνωρίσουμε τους Ιρλανδούς και να πιούμε μερικές μπυρίτσες μαζί τους.
Το Eurobus συνεχίζει την ευρωπαϊκή του διαδρομή. Μια μικρή υπενθύμηση του τι είναι αυτό το πράγμα. Είναι ένα ταξίδι 3 ανθρώπων στις 14 χώρες της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης, ο δικός, συνολικής διάρκειας 2 μηνών και κάτι. Σε αυτούς τους 2 μήνες θα επισκεφτούμε τις 14 αυτές χώρες και σκοπός μας είναι να τις γνωρίσουμε λίγο καλύτερα.
Είμαστε στην Ιρλανδία λοιπόν. Είναι η 8η χώρα στο μικρό μας ευρωπαϊκό ταξιδάκι. Άκουγα Ιρλανδέζικη μουσική όταν ήμουν στα εφηβικά μου χρόνια και έχει μείνει κάτι από τότε. Χαίρομαι ιδιαίτερα που θα γνωρίσω αυτή τη χώρα.
Είμαστε στην Ιρλανδία, στο Δουβλίνο. Πάμε να βρούμε τη Helen. Η Helen είναι ο άνθρωπός μας εδώ. Θα μας μιλήσει για την Ιρλανδία, θα μας κατευθύνει και θα μας λύσει τις απορίες μας. Συναντιόμαστε έξω από το κάστρο του Δουβλίνου. Helen. Alex. How are you? Thanks. All right, Helen, you're the person that's going to tell us what we need to know about Ireland. Could we start by you introducing yourself, please?
I'm Helen Delaney from Dublin, and I work for Electronic Sheep. So I'm just going to talk a bit about Dublin and my view on it.
First of all, tell me a little bit more about what you do, what Electronic Sheep is.
Electronic Sheep is a clothing brand that originated here in Ireland, in Dublin. And I'm from a graphic design background, so we come together to do this with a fashion person to do a label that does knitwear and t-shirts.
Do you sell in a shop or do you just provide shops with your...
We sell in a shop in Temple Bar called the Electronic Sheep Shop. Quite hard to say, but it's in an area that is got a good cultural essence to it, and it's got other art and design things going on in it. It started as an area, started to develop about, I would say, over 10 years ago, with smaller bars and art students and stuff hanging around, and it started to grow up into this more commercial area. But it's still good for music and for fashion and art. But by night, it's become very tourist.
Είμαστε στο Δουβλίνο, σε μια περιοχή που λέγεται Temple Bar, το οποίο είναι το κέντρο όλης της πολιτιστικής ζωής και δραστηριότητας εδώ πέρα στο Δουβλίνο. Θα συναντήσουμε μια κοπέλα που λέγεται Ανέτ, η οποία εργάζεται σε μια εταιρεία που διαχειρίζεται όλη αυτή την περιοχή και θα μας μιλήσει και για το πώς δημιουργήθηκε. Έχει μια αρκετά ενδιαφέρουσα ιστορία η δημιουργία του και πώς εξελίσσεται. Και πηγαίνοντάς μας παράλληλα σε διάφορα από τα χαρακτηριστικά σημεία του Temple Bar.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Welcome
Thanks
to
for
Temple
meeting
Bar.
us. Thank you. So you're going to show us around a little bit.
Yeah, we thought we'd start with the Irish Film Centre.
Okay.
So, do you want to come inside, or will I just tell a little bit about it?
Yeah, let's move in.
So this is one of the 14 cultural centres in the Temple Bar area. And all of these centres have been developed over the last 10 years as part of the Temple Bar Area Regeneration Project.
Right.
They're all dedicated to different art forms. This is the actual National Film Centre, so it's not just for Temple Bar.
Yeah.
And then there's photographic centres, there's a children's cultural centre, a music centre, the visual arts, all
How
of
did
this.
this thing get started?
Well, originally the plan was to turn this entire area into a bus station.
This entire area,
In the city
walking
centre of
through,
Dublin, the government planned to build a main bus terminus for the entire country, and they wanted to base it in the city centre. So the National Transportation Authority, they started buying up all of the old rundown buildings in the area because this place was very dark and desolate in the 70s and 80s. And while they were buying up the property, they began renting it out for, cheap rents to artists looking for studios or to small retail shops. And after a while, a really nice kind of alternative atmosphere began to develop in the area. All of those people then who were working in the area said, well, we don't want this to be a bus station. We actually want to see this go on and, keep this really good atmosphere that we have in the city. So a group of local artists and traders and residents got together and lobbied the government to do something about the bus centre plan. A bit of luck and a really receptive national government meant that the Temple Bar project became the flagship project for Dublin as European City of Culture in 1991. And then our company, Temple Bar Properties, was set up to oversee the development of the area for that purpose.
Well, tell me a little bit about this place first. This is the film, it's actually, the film what?
This is the Irish Film Centre, and this was the first cultural project to be done. In fact, even if the Temple Bar project hadn't happened, this building would have been regenerated because they had already secured money to actually redevelop the building. We can actually walk out the back door and down into Meeting House Square, or would you rather?
No, yeah, well, let's do that.
Okay.
How has this area changed Dublin?
Massively.
In terms of tourism, in terms of the cultural activity and life in the city?
A lot of cultural activity was taking place anyway, but I think what the Temple Bar project did was it clustered it all together, and it kind of, I suppose, put a public face on all of the work that people were doing anyway.
Yeah.
The Irish economy basically was not in a good state, and in the last, I'm sure everyone's heard of the Celtic Tiger, in the last 5 or 6 years in particular, there's been a whole boom in the country.
If someone comes here to open a business, they would go through you with a business plan, so you'd see if they actually fit the idea. If someone comes here with, I don't know, I can't think of anything now, but
They wanted to set up a shop or
McDonald's, for example, wouldn't make it here, right?
True.
Maybe I can't say that word, but
Well, McDonald's is a very interesting example because they did try to come into Temple Bar about 7 or 8 years ago. Temple Bar Properties is the development company, but the state also set up a sister company to administer tax incentives, and they were the company that decided on the mix of use in the areas.
right.
So if you wanted to set up a company in Temple Bar and you wanted to avail of the tax incentive, so it's all about the money, then you would go to this company called Temple Bar Renewal, and they would say, okay, already on that street we've got 7 shops, we've got 2 restaurants, okay, let's have a hotel. And they controlled it in that way.
Yeah.
But now that company, because nearly all of the spaces in the area have been developed, that's not really relevant anymore. The kind of watchdog job that you were talking about is now taken care of by the City Council, who basically are the overall managers of this area as part of the city centre.
Okay. Well, thank you very, very much for this.
You are welcome, and enjoy the rest of your time in Dublin.
We will. Dublin gives the impression of a quickly changing city. It's only in the last few years that people have started talking about it. It's become a tourist destination. Have you seen big changes around you in Dublin?
Yeah, well, there's quite a lot of development on a sort of on an architectural level as well. One of the biggest architectural developments in Dublin at the moment is the Ballymun Flats project, which the Ballymun Flats are in sort of infamous buildings that were built around the 60s sometime, and they generally are called the towers. They tend to house people who were in a low income bracket. So all these people living together, other problems arose, like drug problems and just basic things that were naturally would happen. So as in the last couple of years, they've started to rehouse people who live there and into these really well designed, you know, they've got top architects working on, and they've also involved the people from the area, you know, to get really interested in what their house should be like. And these people have now got, you know, garden space and changed their whole lifestyle.
Κατευθυνόμαστε προς τον Ballymun, το οποίο μέχρι πριν από κάποια χρόνια ήταν από τις πιο επικίνδυνες και υποβαθμισμένες περιοχές του Δουβλίνου. Τα τελευταία χρόνια γίνεται μια μεγάλη προσπάθεια αναβάθμισης της περιοχής και θα πάμε να μιλήσουμε με έναν από τους ανθρώπους που έχουν αναλάβει αυτό το έργο και με κάποιους από τους κατοίκους αυτής της περιοχής. Could you try and summarize in sort of a sentence or a short paragraph what Ballymun was and what you wanted to become, just as
a finisher? Okay. I suppose Ballymun was very much a high-rise, socially excluded area of Dublin, and what we want to do at the end of it all is to convert it or transform it into a normal suburb in the capital, a normal suburban capital, or a normal suburb close to the capital.
Are you a little bit concerned about it losing its character and sort of other people coming in and kicking out the current inhabitants? Is there some kind of a rent control, or is?
Well, no. In terms of the people that are here, certainly the project is looking to keep the people who are here. Yeah. You know? So everyone who's living in a flat will be provided with a new home over the next 7 years or so. Certainly,
which they won't be at risk of losing.
No, they won't be at risk of losing. No, no. And the beauty for them as well is that they will now be able to purchase their new homes. Already, when we go up and see, you'll see where the new leisure centre is being developed on this site here. There's new private housing being developed on this site here, and you'll see where there's a new civic offices that's going to house the local authority or local government offices, and we have a new arts and cultural resource centre that's already up and functioning and running.
So the old tower blocks are going down?
Yes, all of the flat blocks are going to be demolished. As I said earlier, you know, there's 36 blocks that are being demolished. We have started our initial phase 1 of demolitions. We have a demolition contractor on site as we speak, and he's commencing the demolition of 2 of the 4-storey blocks. You know, and as the new housing is handed over and the tenants move out of the flat blocks, we've a rolling programme between now and the end of the year whereby we'll have 7 of those blocks will be demolished, including 2 of the 15-storey tower blocks.
What's your name?
Peter.
Peter. What's your name?
John.
John. What's your name?
George.
So where are you living?
Cardboard box 1, 2, 3, 4. The middle one.
The middle one.
We live in that G floor there, see the blue gate.
Which floor?
I live on the 4th.
Fourth. And how is it living here? You enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always get in the building sites.
Yes?
Yeah. Good.
You're playing football sometimes?
Yeah. We play football in the blocks.
And we always beat Greece.
Who's the better one in football?
In there.
You're the one. You're the champion. Do you have football here?
Yeah.
So we play.
Coach United. Tina, run and get the ball. Come on, we have again. We walk up, please. Yeah. We get a football.
Harry.
Let's play. We're in the same team.
go.
Lucky's boat is painted green, ha, me boys. Lucky's boat is painted green, it's the prettiest boat that you've ever seen. Me boys, we be lying. Aha, me boys, we be lying. These boats got a fine bar cuddy, ha, me boys. Lucky's boat's got a fine bar cuddy, and every seam is cheap with money, aha. Me boys, we be lying. Aha, me boys, we be lying. I says, Looky, the blinds are down. Ah, me boys. I says, Looky, the blinds are down. Wife is dead, she's on the ground. Aha, me boys, we be lying. Sing it. Aha, me boys, we be lying. Well, I says, Looky, I don't care. Ah, me boys. I says, Looky, I don't care. I'll get me another in the spring of the year. Aha, me boys, we be lying. Just sing it now. Aha, me boys, we be lying.
Yeah! Oh, Gertie, come on. Start shooting. Start shooting. Come on, Gertie.
Γρήγορο. I can do more. So there are people living in this building?
Yeah, no.
How many floors is it?
7. 8 if you include this.
Okay. Is there a lift inside?
Yeah, there's it's all door key.
It works?
Yeah, it's all door key. Press the button. Hold on.
Who wrote all these things?
Loads of people are just heating on the wall drinking out.
Is it dangerous to live here? No. You're feeling just fine?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
There used to be steel doors there, so now they stop all the junkies, the bad people coming in.
Okay, let's go to the 8th floor and look at the view. Yeah, it's a little bit smelly. Let's go then.
And slushy. A little bit smelly? No. It's called the seven. Yeah, no. Not the
Do you know the people that live there?
Yeah. There's the airport over there.
So you like this place, yes?
Yeah. The horses and stables are over there.
Why do you like this place?
Because it smells. There's loads of space. You can play football all around.
It's good to play chasing, and if it's raining now, you can stand in the block.
Can you go out at night? Or is it safe?
Yeah, it's safe. Nobody does be harassing you.
What time are you allowed to play outside?
Half 10.
Half 10.
Half 10.
Half 10. Oh, look, Ian has a ball, you know?
Guys, I'm going to the car. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Το hurling είναι το πιο δημοφιλές άθλημα εδώ στην Ιρλανδία. Έχουμε έρθει στο Κιλκένι, που είναι περίπου 100 χιλιόμετρα έξω από το Δουβλίνο, να παρακολουθήσουμε εδώ το τοπικό ντέρμπι Όφαλι-Wexford. Θα μιλήσουμε λίγο με τον κόσμο και θα προσπαθήσουμε να πιάσουμε την ατμόσφαιρα που επικρατεί σε ένα τέτοιο παιχνίδι. Πάμε μέσα. Πάμε μέσα στον αγωνιστικό χώρο.
Ναι.
Σοβαρά μπορούμε.
Have a good time, lads.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy yourselves.
Super είναι, super.
Κόλαση και να το σώμα. Κόλαση. Could you tell us your name and where we are?
Okay, my name is Pat Dunphy. I'm Secretary of the Kilkenny GA County Board. And you're now in Nolan Park, Kilkenny, where today we have a big Leinster senior hurling semi-final, which is played between Wexford and Offaly. So we're expecting a crowd of 26,000 here today for the match.
This is a hurling match, right? Could you tell us a little bit about hurling? What is exactly and...
Okay, hurling is a game where you have a team of 15 players, and each of them have a stick like this and a hurling ball. One hurling ball and they all have one stick. So they all play, it's kind of like hockey, field hockey, but there's a lot of different skills to the game where they can get the ball and they can hit it out of their hands, they can hit it on the ground, they can catch the ball. The game goes on for 35 minutes per half, so it's 70 minutes for the game.
They say that it's maybe the fastest game in the whole world.
The ball can travel 80, 90, 100 yards. If from one player can hit it 100 yards even longer. So it goes from one side to the other very, very fast.
Can you show me how the game is played? Maybe I can try and do it.
Okay, okay, what do you do? Okay, if you hit the ball, you can hit it. Okay. If I hit this, will you follow it?
Yeah, I'll try.
So the idea is to try and hit this over the bar like that.
Okay.
Well, that's wide. That's wide. If the ball goes over the uprights, it's 1 point.
Okay.
If it goes in the goal, in the net, it's 3 points. Okay. Now you must hit it over the upright.
I don't think I'm gonna do it. So, but when you're moving, you can move it like either this way. You can move.
Well, not like that. What you do is like you can rise like that.
Okay.
And you can hit it then, or you can hit it like that.
Yeah. Other so you can move holding the ball. You can like
you can run like you can only run 3 steps with the ball.
3 steps.
Or you can run like that with it.
For as far as you
wish.
Okay. If you do it like this.
We call that soloing. You can solo like that, or like that, or like that.
Everybody that is involved in the sport, the players, probably they're working, right? This is not the only thing that they do. So they are every day inside their own counties and they interact with the people. If there is a big game and they lose, how the fans treat them?
Well, no, the fans, not the fairness, not the fans. Well, they come in buses, so they try and get the buses close to the dressing room as possible to get them out or whatever. But all in all, they're all, as you said, rightly said, they're all amateurs. They all have day jobs and they train at night for this game, and they get no payment for that. It's all from what we say, the love of the game, love of the game, they say. And but they do that, and they're quite happy to play for their county, and they love doing that.
Κοιτάξτε τώρα πως παίζετε το hurling από ένα επαγγελματία.
Θα κάνετε κάτι καλό για την κάμερα, κάτι θεαματικό.
Excuse me. Would you like to say a few words on Greek TV about hurling?
Greek TV? So, what can we say?
Who do you think is going to win today?
Wexford are going to win today.
Why hurling is a big deal in Ireland?
Hurling is our national sport. It's the fastest field sport in the world. So it is.
Is it a big tradition here in Ireland?
It's an age-old tradition. It goes back thousands of years. So it is.
Wexford, how good is the team?
Top team. Wexford is the best team in Ireland at the moment.
When was the last time you won the championship?
1996. And the Leicester final 97.
Thank you.
Alright.
Right the corners.
So who's playing today?
You know who's playing, don't you? What's that for? Is it some television program or what?
This is for the Greek national TV.
What?
For the Greek national TV.
Come on, lad. Jesus, lad, come over here.
So, who's playing today?
Wexford is the middle of that.
Awfully in Wexford.
Wexford is going
This is our place. This is our place. That's Wexford. That's the losers.
The Yellow Bellies were called.
Guys, can I talk to you for a bit? We're from Greek TV to tell us a few things about hurling.
When the team wins, how do you usually celebrate here?
Here?
Drink, yeah.
Thank you. Can I ask you a few questions? We're from Greek TV about hurling.
Wexford.
Για φώναξε λίγο πάλι.
Wexford.
Θα φάμε ξύλο. What do you usually shout? How do you support the team?
Put on the ball there. Put on it, you know. Come on, upward. Don't be pulling back. Get into him. Pull the stick.
Hello, Greek people!
Irish people has a special relationship with sports. They're kind of fanatic. Could you comment on that? Tell me your thoughts.
We are just passionate. I mean, we follow things with a passion, you know.
Yeah.
We love life, the Irish, you know. We love our food, we love our women, but nothing compares to our love of sport.
How are you?
No.
Yellow areas.
Το παιχνίδι ήταν φανταστικό. Η ομάδα μου, η Westford, κερδίσανε 16-15 τους Όφαλοι και φεύγω με τις καλύτερες εντυπώσεις από το Κιλκένι.
Εγώ ήμουν με τους Όφαλοι, τους πράσινο-κίτρινους. Η οποία στο πρώτο ημίχρονο ήταν πολύ καλή, πάρα πολύ, σαφώς ανώτερη από τους άλλους που ήταν το φαβορί. Αλλά στο δεύτερο ανεξήγητα έκατσαν. Τελικά κρίθηκε στο γκολ το παιχνίδι, 16-15. Η ομάδα έκατσε και δεν μπορώ να καταλάβω γιατί. Θέμα φυσικής κατάστασης είναι. Δεν μπορώ να δώσω μια εξήγηση. Αλλά πολύ εντυπωσιακό παιχνίδι, αυτό είναι γεγονός. Αυτά, έτσι με μια ελαφρά απογοήτευση φεύγω εγώ από το Κιλκένι σε αντίθεση με τον συνάδελφο. Is there a lot of differences, or is there a big difference between rich and poor here in Ireland, or is it a more balanced society?
There's very few places I know of that have escaped that. There's very big communities in Ireland that have teenage pregnancies and then drug problems as well. Not being cliche, but there is this situation that goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other hand, there's people who are, you know, shopping all day and night. So there is, and they're side by side. In the city centre, it's small. You can see them very close together. There is a lot of drug addicts on the streets, and it's actually quite apparent. It's not hidden. You can see it. Yeah.
Can we start by you introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about where we are?
Okay. My name is Denise Diver. I'm working here in Stoneybatter, which is in the north inner city of Dublin, and I work as an instructor resource person here at the Stoneybatter Community Training Workshop. The workshop caters for school dropouts, to put it bluntly, and the majority of the school dropouts will come from the low socioeconomic group here in the north inner city.
Is it dropping out of school? Is it a big problem here in Ireland?
Here in the north inner city, Dublin, more than 35% of children of school-going age do not complete their schooling. They do not leave school with a leaving certificate, and some of them will not leave school with a junior certificate. And in Ireland, a leaving certificate is essential to get jobs. It'll dictate what type of job you get, and it dictates whether you go to college or not. Without a leaving certificate, your chances of getting any type of decent job are very, very limited indeed.
Tell me a little bit more about the people here and exactly what kind of things you're doing for them and how their chances improve.
We try and capture those people who have fallen through the net, because really there's nothing for a 14 or 15 or 16 or 17-year-old to do. It'd be very difficult for young people to get jobs, and it's very difficult for this group to get a job simply by virtue of the fact of where they come from, their address. People will assume that they're drug addicts or that they have a criminal record. And what we try to do is try and get them into basic apprenticeship courses or basic junior positions in offices.
Tell us a little bit about your story. What happened? Why you came here?
The reason why I came here, I was in school and I was 15 when I left school. I was homeless at the time.
Why?
Because like problems in the house, like mother and father, between my mother and father, like. So we left the house, but then that's how we became homeless. So when I was in school, it was hard because like my mother has a sickness as well. So if she got sick, I'd have to look after her, and I have a little brother. And that's when homework, like school homework and all, we were living in a bed and breakfast. And
what is that?
Like hostel.
Oh, hostel.
Like hostel, yeah.
For homeless.
For homeless people, yeah.
Homeless people. Oh.
And it was difficult for me to study, for my exams. And the teachers were always on my case. And like people in the school, girls, like they look down on me. Like they look at me different, cause like I didn't live in a house. Okay. So that's when I came to the centre.
Okay.
That's why I left school. And like since I came to the centre, like it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah, exams done and everything.
You have the feeling that you get something which gives you some stronger basis, some kind to find a job and confidence.
Like to go on, like in life, to do something.
Other than fashion and design, are there other things that are sort of currently happening in Dublin?
I know the music industry is quite, I think there's a lot of underground stuff that's quite good that could...
Musically?
Yeah.
Is that a recent thing, or has it always been the case?
I think it's always been like that. I think Dublin's, a lot of people did do what they want to do, which is good, and a lot of people, well, back when I was a teenager, a lot of people would leave school and be automatically unemployed. So that was sort of a pattern. Even if you were quite smart, it didn't really matter. There wasn't that many jobs, so there's a few choices. You could either emigrate, or you could go on the dole, as we call it, which is much more difficult to do now. So there's much more opportunity here. So back then there was a lot of bands that I knew as well, and they would just do it full time. Whereas a lot of bands here now would have another job and do it as a part-time thing.
Τα τελευταία χρόνια γνωρίζει πολύ μεγάλη άνθηση η ανεξάρτητη Ιρλανδέζικη μουσική σκηνή και ακούμε ότι το επίκεντρο αυτής της δραστηριότητας και ανάπτυξης είναι ένα μαγαζί και εταιρεία που λέγεται Road Records εδώ στο Δουβλίνο. Θα πάμε να μιλήσουμε με την ιδιοκτήτρια του μαγαζιού και με κάποια μέλη από τα ανερχόμενα Ιρλανδέζικα συγκροτήματα.
Hi, my name is Julie Collins. We're standing outside my shop, Road Records in Dublin, and we're a specialist shop. We do a lot of independent Irish music, non-chart music, and just underground music, I suppose, which is popular everywhere, I'm pleased to say, not just Ireland.
Okay. Well, they've told me you're a lot more than that. This is actually where sort of the heart of the Irish independent music scene is beating in a way. It's like the hub for everything.
That's very complimentary. I wouldn't like to claim that. I think if it hadn't been us, there'd be somewhere else. I think last few years I've seen an explosion in independent Irish music.
U2 and the Cranberries, you think the existence of sort of bands like that coming out of Ireland meant that other interesting stuff couldn't get out?
Yes, I think it was actually more detrimental. Because Ireland is such a small country, all the A&R people would come from London, and with the success of bands like that, that's all they want. That's what, they want to find the next Cranberries, the next U2, the next Cores, and it's a very, like the Cores are very middle of the road. It's, it's very nondescript. They could be from anywhere. But, that's all people are looking, in the industry, that's all people are looking for, the next big thing. So, maybe that's a good thing though, because when the A&R guys left, people could get back to making music and doing what they want and doing it for themselves and creating some interesting, good stuff.
Thank you very, very much.
No problem.
Thank you. All right, could we start by you introducing yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
My name is Leagues O'Toole and I'm the editor of the Foggy Notions music magazine, which is based here in Dublin.
I was going to ask you about the audience here in Ireland specifically, because the audience of this music is essentially the audience of your magazine, in a way,
Yes.
yeah? We're talking about a lot of people that are getting into this kind of thing, or has there always been an eclectic music audience here in Ireland, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's growing. I think one of the problems and one of the reasons why we did start doing the magazine was that a lot of interesting and underground music wasn't really getting an awful lot of exposure through the media. And so there hasn't really been any magazines, or there's been some like pirate radio stations, really. That's kind of what we've relied on over here. Or like the odd column in a newspaper if the writer's interested in something, you know, interesting. But there hasn't really been a proper kind of vehicle for this kind of stuff. And that's one of the reasons I thought there's all this music out there, and we know there's an audience for it. And a place like Road Records would act as a real kind of epicenter of what would go on in Dublin. Because people would come here and meet and exchange ideas and buy records and leave in their records to sell and put up posters and advertise their things. So we figured there was definitely an audience, and that was one of the reasons, one of the motivating factors in actually publishing a magazine of this nature.
Well, I'm Mervyn. I play in a band called the Redneck Manifesto from Dublin, and we're an instrumental band, pretty much from the underground scene.
You know, people in Greece, for example, all we know about Irish music is, you know, obviously U2. Then stuff which is clearly Irish, like, you know, Pogues and things like that. But from that point on, no one really differentiates in the British music scene between sort of Ireland and England and stuff like that. So tell me a little bit about stuff that's come out of Ireland in the last few years.
I think, well, personally, because I'm more involved in kind of the whole underground music scene, I think there is a very good, healthy underground scene here at the moment. And there's a lot of bands that are recording their albums, and I think there's a very healthy sort of DIY scene where bands are just releasing records themselves and putting them out on their own, and you know, that are actually getting to the stage where they can start touring around, and, you know, that sort of thing. I think a few years ago, you get a lot of bands that were, you know, they'd play for, you know, maybe a year or whatever, but they'd actually never get around to recording or anything, and then just split up. Where I think it's much healthier now. There seems to be a good, really good, you know, audience for it at the moment, where, you know, we can play a show in Dublin and, you know, sell out 600 or 700.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Cheers.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself? And
well, my name's John, and I play under the name Good Time John, and play kind of quiet folk, kind of woe is me kind of music.
Is it hard for someone out of Dublin to get the exposure and get the, you know, the type of deal they're after and arrange tours and?
It can be if. The problem, I think, a lot of people is that they sit and they wait for it to happen, you know.
Yeah.
But that's kind of this whole scene at the moment, is that we're not sitting around waiting, and we're trying to set stuff up ourselves. You know.
What do you do outside the band?
Well, I work here now, part-time, and then I work in a photo lab as well. And but I try do as much music as possible.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right.